Hello, we are team number 1 and we will review the learning experiences from this semester's progress. And we titled it, We Are Livening Up the Learning Process Together. So we hope you enjoy it. And our team members are Alexis Fontaine, Meredith Ledbetter, and Kelly McWhorter. Thank you again for joining us today. Our team number 1, also known as the Terrific Trio, is Alexis Fontaine, Meredith Ledbetter, and Kelly McWhorter, and today we will go over the team learning experiences from this semester. With the introduction, we start out with a picture of Steve Jobs talking about teamwork, and he quotes, "Great things in business are never done by one person, they are done by a team of people." And we really took a hold of this quote as we worked through our presentation and our workshop. So we hope that you kind of learn from that just like we did. In the beginning, we had to really collaborate as well as get to know each other. And in our outline, I did describe that at the very beginning, we had a Blackboard collaborative. However, we had some technical difficulties with that and had to change over to a Google Hangout. And I was excited about the Google Hangout because I'd only used it one time before, and this provided me with another time that I could learn from this platform. At first, I was really excited to see Alexis on the Hangout since we had had class before, and I was really crossing my fingers that we would be in the same group. Because I had a very difficult group last summer, and so I was really hoping that Dr. Webb would put me with two outstanding folks, and she did. It turned out that I was with Alexis and Kelly McWhorter. I'd never met Kelly, but I could already tell that we were going to be a great team, and that's why we're called the Terrific Trio. So once again, we collaborated and we had to really take a hold of the Design for How People Learn book by Julie Durskin. And we went over chapter 2 about who your learners are, and chapter 5, which is how do you get their attention. And both of these were really critical in building a memorable and influential workshop for us. And you will see in this presentation each chapter in detail. We also looked at some very interesting things that involve elephants, and you'll learn more about that soon. But we learned so much, and we also used another book called Interactive and Engaging Training, a Practical Guide by Renee McClay. So you'll see both of these books throughout this presentation, and we hope that you enjoyed this, and we hope that you enjoyed the workshop as well.
Hi, this is Kelly McWhorter, and our team selected chapter number 2, Who Are Our Learners? We selected this due to the importance of an instructor needing to know who their students are, and as you have heard sometimes, know your audience. To determine who our learners are, we need to ask 3 main questions. The first question is, what do your learners want? And the second question, what is their current skill level? And the third question is, how are your learners different from you? And we need to always try to determine what motivates our learners so that we can help them develop the skills that they need. There are 2 examples of professional development from chapter 2 that we have learned. One is to use intelligence tests to learn about our students' learning styles. And one of those intelligence tests is the VARK test, V-A-R-K. It stands for visual, auditory, reading and writing, and the kinesthetic. And these are different styles that different students have. And if we learn these styles of our students, then it will help us in teaching them. Another professional development example that we learned from chapter 2 is the types of methods we use to instruct our students. And there are a couple of ways that we can use to help teach our students. One is follow your student, which is also known as job shadowing. Another is to talk to your students. You would be surprised what you can find out when you just talk to them. And then lastly, try new stuff out on your students. And if it doesn't work, they will tell you. So why did we pick Chapter 2? Well, there is a very important reason, is the instructor needs to know their students. Students have different learning styles, and then therefore are different methods that we can use to help our students. This chapter also indicated the importance of spending time with your students.
Hello you all, it's Alexis Fontaine. I'm going to talk to you all today about Chapter 5, How Do You Get Their Attention? This chapter has been very important and has helped us a lot with developing our training workshop. In Chapter 5, you learn a lot about the different types of learners. 1, you have the writer. 2, you have the elephant. The writer is the conscious verbal thinking brain. The writer is the more logical person that's thinking about needs instead of wants. The elephant is the impulsive, emotional thinking person, the person that is focused on wants instead of needs, and not really focused on responsibilities and things that are most important. Since the elephant is easily distracted, he must be tamed by using different methods that are interesting in order to grasp his attention. Within the workshop, we use many of these methods, including but not limited to before and after scenarios, encouraging group collaboration, and dilemmas encouraging group debates. As we refer to the elephant can be called the ooh shiny learner, basically the learner that is easily distracted. If you see here in the image, a woman is looking at a nice pair of shoes and considering purchasing them. The elephant will say, ooh, cute shoes, I'd like to get those. The writer, but I really can't afford them right now. Maybe next month. The writer is the more logical thinker, while the elephant is the more irrational thinker. Example 1, show them before and after. Individuals should always be able to grasp how they will better their situation and themselves if they master the skills at hand. The elephant will always ask the question, what's in it for me? The elephant must be able to see his skills before the workshop and his improved polished skills after the workshop. This step is extremely important because it reassures the elephant that what he is learning is important and will improve his current situation. This will capture the elephant's interest by knowing that he will benefit greatly from the experience. Example 2, give your learners interesting choices to make. Using dilemmas is a good way to capture the elephant's attention. When using this method, right or wrong options tend to discourage participants. Instead of using right and wrong options, good, better, and best options are encouraged. Dilemmas actually allow the elephant to recall the information learned and use it in real-life scenarios. The elephant will be able to process the information and find ways to use this information in his daily life. In my opinion, I believe this chapter was particularly useful and important because it allowed our team to establish some goals for engagement. It also allowed us to attract and maintain our participants' attention and also create a memorable learning experience for them.
During this workshop, we discovered in Maclay's book the top 10 list of important do's for an effective professional development workshop, various ways that we can engage and make sure that we pay attention to these things during any workshop or professional development. Number 10 was be creative and open your mind. This is important to make sure that creativity is appropriate for the group you are teaching. Number 10, activity should support the course objectives. So stay on track. Do not do an activity just because you think you need one. It needs to be important, so make sure you keep that in mind. Number 8 is determine if you are teaching a skill or knowledge. And this is so you can be sure to follow the 3-step model of teaching. 1 is the introduction to the material, 2 is the guided practice, and 3 is the individual practice.
Number 7, engage your learners. It does not have to be just about lecturing. How boring is that? To have your students engaged in activities will help them learn new knowledge or a new skill. Number 6, know your audience. You don't want to teach adults material that is way below their level. Select the activities that fit the audience. And number 5, don't do an activity just to be doing an activity. Make sure your activity connects with the objectives of the lesson.
Number 4 is practice your activity by doing a run-through. Practice on your colleagues, family, or friends. It's always important, and you've always heard the term practice, practice, practice. This will help the activity to run smoothly when you are actually doing it in front of an audience. Number 3, interrupt long activities. Give your students or your participants a break. This is time for the students to reflect on what they are learning.
Number 2, summarize the activity. Make sure you explain why the activity is going to be conducted, and you should give your students the main takeaway from the activity. And then number 1, which is very important in anything you do, is planning. Plan the activity. I remember when I took a project management class, I was told 80% of my project was planning and 20% was actually doing it. So when you plan your activity, remember to think of the different learning styles you may have in your group.
My top 5 favorite things that I've learned are: number 1, knowing there's a gap between your learner's current situation and where they need to be in order to be successful. Number 2 is how do we remember? Different types of memory, thinking of your brain as a closet, thinking memory in and memory out. The third, using job aids and takeaways for your workshop that will encourage your participants to review topics after the workshop is over. Number 4, how learning experiences are structured from Chapter 7 and using the bikers on the hill analogy. Number 5, learning more about VARK and how it's important to assess your learners before your workshop.
So, what are my favorite things that I've learned from this? We as instructors need to know our audience. This is so important, especially since I am going to be hopefully teaching adults. Number 2, be creative. Part of getting your students to listen is to be creative. It's so hard to motivate them sometimes, but if you incorporate some creative activities, then hopefully it will motivate them to want to learn. And 3, goals and objectives. This is needed in almost everything you do, at work, at school, in your lesson plans. I know these are important. It is also important for our students to know how to develop goals and objectives and to know why they're taking a workshop or a class. And number 4, use those icebreakers. It has really made more sense to me why I need to use icebreakers, especially for workshops. It kind of gets the audience motivated to start learning the activity or start learning the new material that we need to present to them. And number 5, lastly, we should limit our lectures and do more active learning. That's what I've learned from all of this. Active learning is so very important. It is important to use guided instruction and individual instruction in our class. Thank you.
Hello you all, Alexis Fontaine again, and I'm here to talk to you all about my top 5 favorite things learned in this course. Number 1 would be understanding the importance of keeping riders and elephants engaged through collaborative teamwork. This is very important. Number 2, learning the importance of knowing exactly who the learners are and the best methods to use to grasp and maintain their attention. Number 3, understanding my own communication gaps and how to bridge those gaps. Number 4, individual and group practice, creating activities to assess knowledge of literature review. And then finally, number 5, learning how to create icebreakers and the importance of proper implementation of those icebreakers.
In conclusion, Dirksen's book titled Design for How People Learn really played an important and crucial role in the development of our workshop for Toyota. It served as a guideline and a template as we created the sessions that included multiple learning activities. Chapter 2 helped us learn who our learners are and how considering why they are here will help us in any training session. Chapter 5, we really dived into the importance of gaining the learner's attention and how many distractions we're competing against. We believe that using Durskin and Maclay's book helped us develop a truly engaging and successful workshop. Many times, learners want to know what's in it for me, and this is a very normal part of human tendency. And knowing that what we taught them will help them grow as an employee, how great is that? We hope that after this workshop, you will know what type of learner you are and how it relates to you and how you can contribute to Toyota every day. You may find yourself asking, am I a rider or an elephant? Thank you again for learning along with us. Any questions? Thank you again for learning along with us today. At this time, we will take questions and we would be happy to answer anything that you have for us.